Don't be sad, understand your talent. You were not born empty. There is something inside you that the world needs. Sadness comes when you compare yourself to others, when you measure your worth by things outside of you. But you were designed with a purpose, and inside you is a unique talent that sets you apart. Gold does not shine when buried in the ground. It must be discovered, refined, and polished. Your talent is the same. You may not see it yet, but it is there, waiting to be developed. Stop looking at what you lack and start focusing on what you have. No one is born without a gift. Some sing, some lead, some create, some solve problems, but many never discover their gift because they focus on their weaknesses instead of their strengths. When you understand your talent, you will realize that you were never meant to be like anyone else. You are an answer to a problem in this world. Your talent is the key to your joy, your success, and your fulfillment. Stop doubting yourself. Stop wishing for another person's ability. Look inside, identify what makes you different, and develop it. Because when you understand your talent, sadness has no place in your life. 0.1. You were not born empty, you carry a unique gift. 2. Comparison creates sadness, but purpose brings fulfillment. 3. Your talent is like gold. It must be discovered and refined. 4. Focusing on weaknesses blinds you to your strengths. 5. Everyone has a unique role to play in the world. 6. Your talent is the key to your success and joy. 7. Discovering and developing your gift removes self-doubt. You were not born empty. You carry a unique gift. From the moment you entered this world, there was something placed inside you that no one else has in the same way. Every person is designed with a specific purpose, and that purpose is tied to the gift within them. The problem many people face is not a lack of talent, but a lack of awareness. They go through life searching for meaning, believing they have nothing special, when in reality, they have been carrying their uniqueness all along. A bird does not question its ability to fly, nor does a fish doubt its capacity to swim. They operate naturally within their design. Likewise, every human being has been given a natural ability, a gift that is meant to function effortlessly when discovered. The challenge is that many people have been conditioned to believe they must fit into a mold, that success looks the same for everyone, but this is not true. Your gift is not something external that you must chase after. It is something already within you, waiting to be recognized and developed. When you look at the world around you, you see a variety of skills, talents, and abilities. Some people have a natural inclination toward leadership, while others thrive in creativity. Some excel in solving complex problems, while others are gifted in making people feel valued and understood. No gift is greater than another, yet many people diminish their own worth because they compare themselves to others. The danger of comparison is that it blinds you to what you already have. You may not sing like another person, you may not think the same way as someone else, but what you do have is something just as valuable, something that the world needs. The greatest mistake anyone can make is believing they are without purpose. No person is born without a contribution to make. The fact that you exist means there is something inside you that is necessary for someone else. The world may not have told you this, but your existence is proof that you carry something special. Your gift is not determined by where you were born, your background, or what others think of you. It is something deeply embedded in your identity. It is not limited by education or opportunity. It is an inherent part of who you are. Some of the most successful people in history did not come from privilege, but they discovered and developed their gift, and that gift made room for them. Many people go through life never realizing their true potential because they focus on what they lack instead of what they possess. They allow circumstances, failures, and negative voices to convince them that they are insignificant. But your gift is not defined by your past or your struggles. In fact, many times, struggles are the very things that reveal the gift within you. Hardships and obstacles push you to discover strengths you never knew you had. They refine you, shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. One of the reasons people feel lost or unfulfilled is because they are trying to live outside of their gift. When you operate outside of your natural talent, everything feels like a struggle. But when you embrace what you were designed to do, life begins to flow differently. That does not mean there won't be challenges, but it means that even in difficulty, there will be a sense of alignment and purpose. It is important to recognize that your gift is not just for you. It is meant to serve others. Whether it is through teaching, creating, leading, or inspiring, your unique ability has the power to impact the world. The question is not whether you have a gift. The question is whether you will take the time to discover and develop it. Some people never step into their full potential because they wait for validation. They wait for someone to tell them they are good enough, talented enough, or worthy enough. But no one can define your gift except you. It is already inside you, and it does not require permission to exist. The moment you recognize this truth, everything begins to change. You stop looking for approval and start walking in confidence. You stop doubting yourself and start embracing the fact that you were born with something valuable to offer. The discovery of your gift is the beginning of everything. It is what separates those who live with purpose from those who merely exist. It is what allows people to turn dreams into reality. It is what transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. When you understand that you were not born empty, you begin to see life differently. You start to walk with a new sense of purpose, knowing that within you is something special, something that was meant to be shared with the world. Comparison creates sadness, but purpose brings fulfillment. Many people go through life measuring their worth against the achievements, talents, or possessions of others. They look at what someone else has accomplished and feel inadequate. They see the success of others and question their own value. This constant comparison stills joy, creates insecurity, and leads to frustration. The reason many feel unfulfilled is not because they lack ability, but because they are too busy looking at what others are doing instead of focusing on what they were created to do. Every individual is designed with a unique purpose, and that purpose is connected to their gifts, abilities, and experiences. No two people are meant to have the same journey. Yet society conditions people to believe that success must look a certain way. Social media, television, and cultural expectations create a false standard of achievement. People begin to chase someone else's vision, thinking that if they can replicate what another person has, they will feel fulfilled. But true fulfillment does not come from copying someone else's path. It comes from walking in your own purpose. A seed does not compare itself to another seed. It simply grows into what it was meant to be. An apple tree does not envy a mango tree, nor does the sun compete with the moon. They each function in their purpose without questioning their worth. In the same way, a person who understands their purpose will not waste time comparing themselves to others. Instead, they will focus on developing what is already inside them. The moment you stop looking at what others are doing and start embracing your unique journey, you break free from unnecessary sadness and frustration. Comparison distorts perspective. It makes people see what they lack instead of what they have. It creates a false reality where someone else's highlight reel is mistaken for the full picture. People often compare themselves to the visible success of others without seeing the struggles, failures, and sacrifices behind it. They assume that someone else's path was easy, while their own challenges feel overwhelming. But when you understand that every person has their own battles, you begin to realize that success is not about competing. It is about fulfilling your own purpose. Purpose brings clarity. When you understand why you were created and what you were meant to do, distractions lose their power over you. You stop feeling the need to measure up to unrealistic standards because you realize that your journey is unique. The fulfillment you seek is not in having what someone else has, but in becoming who you were meant to be. The more you focus on your purpose, the less space there is for jealousy, insecurity, or feelings of inadequacy. Many people live their entire lives feeling like they are not enough simply because they are looking in the wrong direction. They see someone excelling in an area where they struggle, and they assume that they have failed. But just because one person is thriving in their lane does not mean that you were meant to run in that same lane. The key is to identify your strengths, develop your gifts, and move forward with confidence. A fish will always feel inadequate if it tries to climb a tree, but in the water it thrives effortlessly. In the same way, you will always struggle if you try to be someone you were never meant to be. When you embrace your purpose, you shift your focus from comparison to contribution. Instead of asking, why am I not like them? You begin to ask, how can I use what I have? You start to see your gifts as valuable and recognize that your unique combination of talents, experiences, and perspectives has something to offer the world. The fulfillment you seek is not in competing with others, but in making the most of what you have been given. Many people waste time wishing for a different set of talents, a different background, or a different opportunity. They spend years longing for someone else's life instead of embracing their own. But fulfillment does not come from wishing, it comes from working. It comes from refining your skills, sharpening your abilities, and making the decision to step into your purpose with confidence. When you commit to your own growth, you no longer have time to dwell on comparison. You are too busy becoming the best version of yourself. Purpose removes the burden of competition. It allows you to celebrate the success of others without feeling threatened. When you know that you have your own lane, you stop trying to run in someone else's. You recognize that there is enough success for everyone and that your only competition is the person you were yesterday. True joy and fulfillment come not from trying to be better than someone else, but from striving to reach your full potential. The moment you understand this truth, you free yourself from unnecessary sadness and embrace the peace that comes with walking in your purpose. Your talent is like gold. It must be discovered and refined. Gold in its raw state does not shine. It is buried deep beneath the surface, hidden from sight, and covered by layers of earth. It takes effort, patience, and skill to uncover it. Even after it is found, it must go through fire to be purified and shaped into something valuable. The same is true for your talent. It does not emerge fully developed. It is hidden within you, waiting to be recognized, nurtured, and refined. Many people live their entire lives without ever discovering the gold inside them, not because it isn't there, but because they never take the time to search for it. A person's true potential is not always obvious. The world may not see it, and sometimes even the individual may not recognize it. But just because something is hidden does not mean it does not exist. The process of discovering talent begins with self-awareness. You must be willing to look beyond what is obvious. beyond what society or circumstances have conditioned you to believe about yourself. You must be willing to explore, to try, to fail, and to learn. Many people never discover their gifts because they are afraid to step outside their comfort zones. They assume that talent should be effortless, that it should appear fully formed. But gold does not look valuable when it is first found. It must be refined before its true worth is revealed. Refining talent requires dedication. A gift that is not developed remains dormant, like gold left in the ground. Talent is not enough. Natural ability alone does not guarantee success. The most gifted individuals in the world became great not simply because they had talent, but because they worked to sharpen it. They practiced, studied, and improved their skills. They invested time into growth, understanding that raw ability is only the beginning. Just as fire removes impurities from gold, discipline and hard work refine talent into excellence. Without this process, potential remains just that, potential. There are many talented people who never achieve greatness because they never refine their gifts. They assume that having an ability is enough, but without consistent effort, talent will never reach its full potential. The best musicians, athletes, leaders, and innovators did not rely solely on their natural abilities. They put in hours of practice, endured failure, and remained committed to improvement. They understood that the refining process is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Some people bury their talents because they fear failure. They hide their abilities, afraid that they are not good enough or that others will judge them. But gold hidden underground serves no purpose. It must be brought into the light and put to use. Fear keeps people from stepping into their full potential. They wait for the perfect moment, for the right opportunity, or for someone else to validate them. But if you wait too long, you risk never using what you were given. Your talent is not meant to remain hidden. It is meant to be developed and shared. The refining process is not always easy. It requires perseverance, patience, and resilience. Just as gold must go through intense heat to be purified, your talent will be tested through challenges. You will face setbacks, criticism, and moments of doubt, but every difficulty is an opportunity to grow. Each obstacle you overcome strengthens your ability. Many people give up too soon, not realizing that their struggles are shaping them into something stronger. The refining process is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Without it, talent remains raw and undeveloped. Discovering and refining your talent is not just for personal success. Your gift is meant to serve a greater purpose. Gold is valuable because it can be used to create something meaningful, jewelry, currency, and works of art. In the same way, your talent is not just for you, it is meant to contribute to the world. The greatest impact comes from those who have taken the time to develop their gifts and use them for the benefit of others. True success is not just about what you gain from your talent, but about what you give through it. Many people admire the success of others without realizing the effort that went into refining their talent. They see the final product, but not the process. They want the shine of gold without enduring the fire. But every great person has gone through their own refining process. They have failed, struggled, and sacrificed to reach their full potential. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the willingness to go through the process. You have gold inside you, but it is up to you to dig deep, bring it to the surface, and refine it. No one else can do this for you. Your talent is waiting to be discovered, and your success depends on your willingness to develop it. If you neglect it, it will remain buried. If you refine it, it will shine. Focusing on weaknesses blinds you to your strengths. Many people spend their lives dwelling on what they lack rather than recognizing what they have. They fixate on their shortcomings, their failures, and their limitations, believing that these define them. This mindset keeps them stuck, unable to move forward because they are always looking at what is missing instead of what is already within them. No one succeeds by concentrating on their deficiencies. Success comes from identifying, developing, and maximizing strengths. Every person has something they are naturally inclined to do well, something that sets them apart. But when you are too focused on what you are not good at, you fail to see where you truly excel. Many people have buried their potential under layers of self-doubt because they have been conditioned to believe they are not enough. They spend years trying to fix what they perceive as flaws, instead of embracing and refining the abilities that make them unique. Schools, workplaces, and society often emphasize correcting weaknesses rather than building on strength. People are told to improve where they fall short, instead of being encouraged to develop where they already have talent. This creates a cycle of frustration and discouragement. When someone constantly tries to improve in an area where they have little natural ability, they experience slow progress, disappointment, and feelings of inadequacy. Meanwhile, the gifts they could be sharpening remain neglected. Greatness is not found in trying to be good at everything. It is found in mastering what you are already gifted in. The most successful individuals in history did not spend their time fixing every flaw. Instead, they identified what they were best at and focused on refining that skill. Athletes, musicians, inventors, and leaders all have weaknesses, but they do not let those weaknesses define them. They understand that their success depends on fully developing their strengths. When you concentrate on your strengths, you gain confidence. Confidence does not come from trying to be someone you are not. It comes from fully embracing who you are. Many people struggle with insecurity because they are constantly measuring themselves against a standard that does not align with their natural abilities. They look at others who excel in different areas and feel inadequate, not realizing that those same people also have weaknesses. No one is good at everything, but everyone is good at something. The key is to discover what you do well and commit to improving it. The more you focus on your strengths, the more you begin to see opportunities. Instead of dwelling on what you cannot do, you start recognizing how your unique skills can solve problems, create impact, and bring fulfillment. And people who focus on their strengths are more likely to find success because they operate in alignment with their natural abilities. They are not wasting time trying to become something they were never meant to be. Ignoring your strengths in favor of your weaknesses creates frustration. Many people feel stuck in life not because they lack potential, but because they are forcing themselves into areas that do not align with their talents. They pursue careers, relationships, or goals that do not match their strengths, leading to dissatisfaction and struggle. But when you identify what you naturally excel at and work to refine it, everything changes. Progress becomes faster, challenges become easier to overcome, and success feels more attainable. Some of the most celebrated individuals in the world had significant weaknesses, but they did not allow those weaknesses to dictate their future. They built their lives around what they did best. A person who struggles with numbers but is a gifted communicator will not become great by forcing themselves to be an accountant. They will succeed by developing their ability to communicate, influence, and inspire. A person who struggles with public speaking but has a natural gift for design should not waste time trying to become a speaker. They should focus on creating and mastering their craft. Focusing on weaknesses leads to comparison, and comparison leads to discouragement. When you are constantly aware of where you fall short, you begin to see yourself as less than others. You start believing that you are not capable, not worthy, or not talented enough. But when you shift your focus to what you do well, your perspective changes. You stop seeing yourself as inadequate and start seeing yourself as valuable. You recognize that your strengths have purpose, that they were given to you for a reason, and that by refining them, you can make a difference. Many people delay their success because they are busy trying to fix things that do not need fixing. They spend years trying to turn weaknesses into strengths, only to realize that they have neglected what could have made them great. Instead of trying to be well-rounded, be exceptional at what you are naturally good at. The world does not need another person struggling to fit into a mold that was never meant for them. It needs people who are confident in their strengths, who are willing to develop them, and who understand that their greatest potential lies in what they already do best. Your talent is your responsibility, and no one else will develop it for you. Too many people go through life waiting for someone to recognize their potential, hoping that an opportunity will fall into their lap, expecting that success will come simply because they have a gift. But talent alone is not enough. The world is filled with talented people who never reach their full potential because they fail to take responsibility for their own growth. No one is coming to push you, train you, or force you to maximize what you have inside. That is a personal decision that only you can make. Many people assume that if they are truly gifted in something, success will come naturally. They believe that if they have a special skill, doors will automatically open. But talent that is not developed remains dormant. A seed contains everything it needs to become a tree, but if it is never planted, watered, and nurtured, it will never grow. Your abilities work the same way. They hold potential, but they must be refined, strengthened, and put to use. Without effort, talent is wasted. Without discipline, potential is lost. Some people never develop their talent because they are waiting for the perfect moment. They tell themselves that one day when the timing is right, they will start working on their skills. They believe that when they have more time, more resources, or more encouragement, they will finally take action. But the perfect moment never comes. Time keeps passing and the talent remains unused. Every day that you delay is a day that your potential is not being realized. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to take the first step. Others fail to develop their talent because they are afraid of failure. They do not want to make mistakes, so they never start. They fear being judged, so they keep their abilities hidden. But failure is a necessary part of growth. No one masters a skill without making mistakes along the way. Every expert was once a beginner. Every great musician, artist, athlete, and leader had moments of failure, but they kept going. They understood that mistakes are part of the learning process. The only real failure is refusing to try. Your talent will never reach its full potential if you do not invest in it. This means dedicating time to practice, study, and improvement. It means being intentional about growth, seeking out knowledge, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. It means sacrificing comfort and convenience for the sake of progress. Many people want success, but few are willing to put in the consistent effort required to achieve it. Talent is a starting point, but discipline and persistence determine how far you go. Some people expect others to recognize and promote their talent, but the truth is that the world does not owe you success. It is not someone else's job to push you toward greatness. If you do not take your own talent seriously, why should anyone else? People invest in those who invest in themselves. Opportunities come to those who are prepared. The more you work on your skills, the more valuable you become. When you prove that you are dedicated to growth, doors begin to open. But it all starts with a personal decision to take responsibility for your own development. There are many people with less talent who achieve more simply because they are willing to put in the work. Hard work will always outshine raw ability. Natural skill can give you an advantage, but effort determines the outcome. Those who succeed are not always the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They keep showing up, keep learning, and keep improving. They do not wait for permission to grow. They take initiative and make it happen. Another reason people fail to develop their talent is that they allow distractions to consume their time. Instead of focusing on growth, they waste hours on entertainment, social media, and meaningless activities. They prioritize comfort over progress, pleasure over purpose. They say they do not have time to develop their talent, but they spend countless hours doing things that add no value to their future. Growth requires intentionality. If you do not make time for development, it will never happen. Your schedule reflects your priorities. If talent development is not a priority, it will always take a backseat to distractions. Your talent was given to you for a reason, but it is your responsibility to make the most of it. If you do not use it, you will lose it. Skills that are not practiced fade over time. Abilities that are not exercised become weak. The more you invest in your talent, the stronger it becomes. The more you neglect it, the more it deteriorates. If you want to be great at something, you must consistently put in the effort to grow. No one else can do this for you. You must make the decision to take ownership of your potential and commit to developing it every single day. The way you see yourself determines how you use your talent. Many people fail to maximize their potential not because they lack ability, but because they have the wrong mindset about themselves. They see themselves as ordinary, insignificant, or incapable, so they do not invest in their growth. They assume that greatness is reserved for others, people with more resources, more opportunities, or more support. But success does not start with external advantages. It starts with internal belief. If you do not believe in your ability, you will never develop it to its fullest potential. Your self-image shapes your actions. A person who sees themselves as valuable will make decisions that reflect that value. They will invest in their growth, pursue excellence, and take risks that push them to improve. On the other hand, a person who sees themselves as unworthy will hesitate, hold back, and settle for less than they are capable of achieving. They will talk themselves out of opportunities and convince themselves that their talent is not enough. The mind is the foundation of success. If you do not change how you see yourself, no amount of talent will compensate for a limited mindset. One of the biggest obstacles to developing talent is self-doubt. Many talented individuals never reach their full potential because they are trapped by negative thoughts. They question whether they are good enough, smart enough, or skilled enough. They compare themselves to others and assume that they do not measure up. They remember past failures and use them as proof that they will never succeed. But self-doubt is an illusion. It is not based on truth. It is based on fear. The only way to overcome it is to take action in spite of it. Confidence does not come from waiting until you feel ready. It comes from stepping forward even when you are unsure. People with the wrong mindset often sabotage their own growth. They make excuses for why they cannot succeed. They blame circumstances, lack of support, or difficult past experiences. They believe that their limitations are permanent, so they do not try to break past them. But excuses do not change anything. They only keep you stuck. No one has a perfect path to success. Everyone faces challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not the absence of struggles, but the presence of perseverance. Your perception of yourself is shaped by the words you speak. Many people reinforce their limitations by constantly speaking negativity over their lives. They say things like, "I'm not talented enough," "I'll never be successful," or "I don't have what it takes." Words have power. What you repeatedly say becomes what you believe, and what you believe determines your actions. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not capable, you will act accordingly. But if you begin to speak life over yourself, saying, "I am talented, I have what it takes, I am improving every day," you will start to see yourself differently. Surrounding yourself with the right people also plays a key role in shaping your mindset. If you spend time with people who doubt you, discourage you, or bring negativity into your life, their words will begin to affect how you see yourself. If you constantly hear that your dreams are impossible, you may start to believe it. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, who speak encouragement into your life, and who push you toward your potential, your mindset will shift. The right environment can help you see yourself as capable, talented, and full of potential. Fear is another mindset that holds people back from developing their talent. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of judgment keep many people from stepping into their full potential. They worry about what others will think, so they stay in their comfort zones. They are afraid to take risks, so they never stretch themselves beyond what feels safe. But fear is a trap. It keeps you small when you were meant for more. The only way to break free from fear is to face it. Every time you take action despite fear, you weaken its grip on you. The more you step forward, the more your confidence grows and the less fear controls your decisions. Success requires a shift in mindset. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, see them as opportunities to grow. Instead of looking at failures as proof that you are not good enough, see them as lessons that refine you. Instead of waiting for permission to use your talent, take initiative and create your own opportunities. Everything you need to succeed is already inside of you, but it is up to you to believe in it, develop it, and use it. Your talent is not just for you, it is meant to serve others. Many people believe that their skills and abilities exist solely for their own benefit, for personal success, financial gain, or self-fulfillment. But true greatness comes when you understand that your talent has a higher purpose. It was given to you to solve problems, to inspire, to uplift, and to impact the lives of others. The most successful people in the world are those who use their gifts to serve. They do not just focus on what they can gain, they focus on how they can contribute. When you use your talent to serve, you activate a principle of increase. The more you give, the more you grow. The more you pour out, the more capacity you create for expansion. People who hoard their gifts, who focus only on personal success, eventually hit a limit. They may achieve temporary accomplishments, but they do not experience the fulfillment that comes from making a difference. On the other hand, those who dedicate themselves to adding value to others find that their influence expands, their skills sharpen, and their opportunities multiply. Every great leader, innovator, and creator who has left a lasting impact did so because they focused on serving a need. They identified problems and used their talent to bring solutions. They did not just think about their own desires. They thought about how they could contribute to something greater than themselves. When you shift your mindset from self-centered ambition to a mission-driven purpose, everything changes. You no longer see your talent as something small, you see it as a tool to make an impact. People often underestimate their ability to serve because they assume that making a difference requires a large platform, massive resources, or worldwide recognition. But service starts where you are. It starts with recognizing that even the smallest act of using your gift can create a ripple effect. A teacher who dedicates themselves to developing their skills is not just improving for themselves, they are shaping the future of their students. A musician who hones their craft is not just making better music, they are creating experiences that inspire others. An entrepreneur who refines their expertise is not just building a business, they are providing solutions that improve lives. When you serve with your talent, you attract more opportunities. People are drawn to those who add value. Companies invest in individuals who solve problems. Communities elevate those who bring solutions. The world makes room for those who contribute. If you find yourself feeling stuck, ask yourself how you can serve. Instead of waiting for a breakthrough, create one by using what you have to make an impact where you are. When you focus on service, you position yourself for growth, expansion, and greater influence. Many people hesitate to serve with their talent because they feel like they are not ready. They believe they need more training, more experience, or more recognition before they can make a difference. But service does not require perfection. It requires willingness. The best way to grow is to start. The more you use your talent, the better you become. If you wait until you feel fully prepared, you may never begin. Every expert started as a beginner. Every master once struggled with uncertainty. But they became great because they used what they had, served where they were, and committed to continuous improvement. Your talent is a seed that grows when planted. If you keep it hidden, it remains dormant. But when you put it to use in service, it develops, expands, and begins to bear fruit. People who serve with their gifts find that doors open in unexpected ways. They meet the right connections, encounter new opportunities, and experience a level of fulfillment that personal success alone cannot provide. True success is not just about how much you achieve, it is about how much impact you make. Serving with your talent does not mean you neglect personal goals. In fact, the more you serve, the more aligned you become with your purpose. Your vision becomes clearer, your skills sharpen, and your influence expands. Many of the greatest opportunities in life come not from seeking personal gain, but from seeking to contribute. When you dedicate yourself to making a difference, people take notice. They see your commitment, your value, and your consistency, and they want to be part of what you are building. Every person has something to offer. No matter how small you think your talent is, there is someone who needs what you have. Someone is waiting for the solution you can provide, the inspiration you can share, the service you can give. The impact of your talent is not measured by its size, but by its use. Even a single act of service can change the course of someone's life. The question is not whether your talent matters. The question is whether you will use it to make a difference.